And we are live. Grand Rising, beautiful, melanated, original, whatever you respectfully call yourself, people. The nation is in the house. We got Pablo starting us off in this day. So, what is the title? I seen someone in the comments say democracy has been dead for black people. But, you know, when we were talking, we were like, let Rome fall. Should we vote in this election or should we just let it fall? But we'll be back.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning: the following program contains strong black first opinions about mature and strong subject matter that affects black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissies.
Grand Rising All. You are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
And we're back. Okay, like we said before we left, I know
But
D Mays, you got a lot to get off your chest. So, democracy is dead for black people. We've been selling ourselves out. Like I said, in the title, should we just let Rome fall? Because what are we getting out of it? What are we getting out of all this voting, all this shenanigans, all the money that's being raised, everybody that's getting something, and everybody is waiting on that one thing. And what black people need to understand, we make the deciding vote. You know how Kamala is vice president and she makes the tiebreaker vote when they're voting for laws and and policies. So we're kind of like the reason why they lean on black people is because we make that deciding vote. We push that lever, whether you're going to be the Democratic president or the Republican president. And I lay my plane.
Facts. The
Well,
DNC. You got it, Pablo. Pablo, you got it, man. Let you start it off.
let's do this properly. Uh huh. Well, yeah. We coming to you live. We coming to you live on the hills of the Chocolate Church. Jumping onto a private Zoom call. Note, it's always a private Zoom call, and bringing themselves together to cobble up and raise 500,000 for the Kamala Harris campaign.
Can I get an amen?
Mm-hmm. Passing and sacrifice his gators and his Moet next month to put 500K in Kamala Harris' pocket. Now, we're not even going to touch on the fact that nearly everything Kamala Harris's campaign stands for, her entire platform, is literally against everything the Bible says. We're not even going to touch on that unless y'all want to. But let's just roll. Let's just take the gloves off for this, because we got to tell the truth. What we're looking at is that phrase I always use, the chocolate Titanic. What we're looking at is the chocolate Titanic, aka the remaining plantation-loving Black Democrat base, and their desperation for relevancy. They're pulling out all the stops because they know that if they can't get Kamala in office, they know it's a wrap, because they know Biden and Kamala have imported the Spanish speaking and the Ukrainians and this whole new imported base. They know they're being put out the pasture. They know from district to district, state to state, their influence is on life support. They know this. And so what they also know is this boule class only represents 30% of Black America. And they know that they are no longer the face of Black America. When you hear voices like Jason Black, arguably Tariq Nasheed, Taharka Bey, all these different voices, Michi X, all these different voices, they used to be able to explain YouTube away. They used to be able to explain the internet away. Oh, they're just online kooks. They ain't going too far. But now they can no longer hide behind that because they know their influence is dying. Bowling Ball Martin knows the gig is up. And as we get closer to this campaign, we're going to see them get more and more and more desperate. But also, we're going to see people like us get more and more emboldened. It it is no. I mean, it's a no brainer that we have been doing this Democrat thing for generations. LBJ said, "I'm going to have them ninjas voting Democrat for the next 200 years," and I think these old oligarchs, these old time Democrats like Kamala Harris, I think that they're out of touch. They're beyond out of touch. I think that they just don't believe that we're in the info era and they can't pull these things the way they used to. Um, and like we were saying before we came on, remember, as soon as Kamala got the nod from Biden, they immediately dispatched the fact checkers to bully people online who challenge her about being black when we know that she's not black. So the more and more they do these things, the more and more they do these shenanigans, it's starting to be a turnoff. And that's why you see desperate coons like Steve Harvey, Smiley, DL Hughley. You see all of them. They all coming out in strong force like never before. I mean, they didn't even act like this over Obama, but they are coming out in strong force to try to force this woman past the finish line. And the question is why?
Because they
Fact.
want something. We make the deciding vote. They want to control the White House. I'm not agreeing with Trump. I'm not agreeing with anybody. I'm talking about what the Democrats have been doing. They have been controlling the White House, living their best lives off the backs of the Black Americans. You got investments in prison systems that's making trillions of dollars. You have investments in these stores. The more they learn us, the more they create stores and businesses where it takes it out of our hands. That's what Trump is saying about other people taking our jobs. But we don't see it that way. So they want a lot from us because they want to keep controlling the U.S. the way it was. I'm not trying to be funny, but when Trump was in office, I had more money in my bank account. They can say what they want. Kamala is already vice president. She
It's
has been
Kamala. It's Kamala. Don't say her name wrong.
Kamala, Kamala, whatever.
Cambria. All right.
She
Yeah. The only
she
Kamala we
is
know is the
already
Ugandan
vice
giant.
president. Hmm.
I said the only Kamala we know is the Ugandan giant. He was actually black.
And this Kamala, she's already vice president. They said she voted on the deciding factor of the budget bill that we're under now. Somebody, do y'all know what she voted on?
Yeah, hold on. Hey, post up what Brooke Tradition said at the end because I'm hearing that's a lot going on right now with a lot of and content creators. A lot of them they got pretty, this is coming. All these black content creators wanting them to support Kamala Harris. So you can read that out real quick. Okay, I got my glasses on.
He said Dems put money aside to pay people. Dems put money aside to pay people to endorse them online, the Democrats. He said he was approached by the Biden campaign to make videos supporting him.
God damn it.
But
They
like we
desperate.
said,
Do you guys,
they keep
before
talking about
before we go
Trump.
down that lane, do you guys think that is true? Because based on the latest interaction between Steve Harvey and Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Umar Johnson claims that he was approached and offered 10K to do an interview with Scamala, and he called out
Grand Rising Queen.
Steve Harvey, and Tavis. I forgot what the others were. Smiley, I think, was one of them, and he said they're being paid to marketably promote Kamala Harris. So Harvey responds, and he's going. He basically saying, "I don't get out of bed for $10,000. You can't buy Steve Harvey for $10,000." And so I went to read the comments. I was just interested to see what people were going to say, and there were a few. Democrat cheerleaders waving their pom poms, and most of us like, yeah, you guys are being paid. And then so I responded. I said, if you listen to Harvey's comments in that video, he was telling on himself in two different ways. One, he's telling you that yes, the black boule. Now he's not a chocolate Greek. He didn't graduate from Yale or anything, but he made it in by basically swallowing his way to the top, somewhat the same way Kamala did. So he basically admitted two things: the black boule is running its own agenda for that 30% that of Black America that they represent, and they're willing to sacrifice the rest of us, and they don't see themselves as black anymore. To them, being a Democrat is an ethnicity. It's a white identity group. They feel like they are no longer black. They've made it into white society. So that's why we will never see eye to eye with black Democrats. I mean, you could look at Bernice King. Same thing. These people, that's my soror, they don't see themselves as black Americans any longer. They see themselves on a almost an equal level to white people, but they know they're at the bottom rung. They're just happy to be in there. And then he also told,
Tribalism.
yeah, and then he also told another thing. He said, basically was saying, with my brand equity, you can't get me to do anything for $10,000. So he said, I'm marketing Kamala for free. And I said, he's lying. Read between the lines of what he's saying. Steve Harvey, if you listen to that money game thing he told Monique, read between the lines. Basically, what he's saying is, I'm in a comfortable spot under the oppressor's boot. Mighty Whitey got me in a good spot for Markunin, and I'm not going to risk that. So when these people approach Steve Harvey, you think he's going to stand up and go through what Nick Cannon and Kanye West just went through?
Hell no.
Definitely not.
It's crazy. I mean, Umar, I don't know, man. He's so much a meme junkie now. Like he doing memes and all this stuff on TikTok. I don't know how serious to take Umar, but yeah, I think some people they say have came to them. I believe them, but Umar, I mean, why would they go after Umar Johnson? He's pro-black. He's yeah. I just don't see it. He might be telling the truth. I don't know. I'm just saying he's more of a what they call a rubber rouser. Like he's a he calls a lot.
They
He
think he's a black identity extremist, so I don't
yeah,
know.
exactly. So I don't know.
I
It might
kind
be
of thought
true.
the same thing. I was like, it might be true, but I thought the same exact thing. I said, would they
Broken
really
tradition
have
said
way?
because broken tradition said he have email to prove it about. They sent him. They sent they asked him to campaign for them.
Well,
I was getting ready
the
to say that. He had proof. He showed proof. I didn't see it, but
I
I
mean, I
wanted.
wouldn't put it past him. See, it's up in the air if Umar, what he's saying is true. And we also know Tariq Nasheed himself has invited Kamala and Trump to come onto the show and have that debate on his show. And he said he'll support whoever has the best black agenda. And I don't think it's far fetched that they will reach out because they're desperate. And when you got the entire 64,000 remaining members of the Black Democrat base going on private Zoom calls to raise money just to show they still have relevancy, yeah, they're desperate. So they know that this new black media, so-called, on YouTube has chipped away, and people like Bowling Ball Martin no longer have that much influence on the ground, and they know that. So I don't think it's far fetched that they would reach out to Umar at this point.
did you stop talking, Pablo?
I thought I got muted. Yeah, but to land the plane on that, I don't think it's far fetched they would reach out to Umar, maybe even a Jason Black, probably even us, maybe even Michi X. I mean, because they're desperate and they know. I think also what fuels that desperation is, like I've been saying for years, when they imported this new Democrat base, they're going to give them rights to vote because they've already been slowly doing it for years. And I think that they probably wouldn't want to do it now because it's going to cause a complete uproar especially when you look at the Capitol situation with the MAGA folk that they just pulled off. I don't think they want to pull something like that at this point, but if they get desperate enough, they just might. But I don't see them going that far this election because remember, they're lying. They're lying, and they're putting on right now. The Democrat Party is not energized and staunchly behind Kamala Harris. One, she's not a member of the original circle. She was the one that got rejected and bumped out the way for Biden last cycle. So they're not necessarily enthused about her. She's not like a Hillary Clinton. So I don't think that now if it was Hillary Clinton running, I think they would go that far and pull a stunt like that and openly cheat and have illegals voting and stuff like that. But being the fact that it's Kamala, I think they just want to try to put up as good a fight as they can against Trump, and they'll take the L and pick it up in the next 4 years.
They
Worst
are
case
letting
scenario.
illegals now. They are letting illegals vote. Several states have found illegals in their thing and they had to get rid of them. But they are letting them vote.
I got it. Thank you. Yes, they are.
I'm hearing that. I'm still doing some research on it, but yeah,
Yeah, they are. What they're
they
doing is using. Remember before I said before when I worked for the state, they'll give these pseudo numbers when I worked for the state, and they have kids, and so the state would give you a state generated pseudo number that was as many numbers as a social security number, so that you could put them in the system so that they can get benefits. And what these states are doing is using those pseudo numbers that they give these immigrants to in order to get benefits that we see that they're getting. They taking those as social security numbers and registering them to vote. And then the guy in I think Michi put it up and stuff. I think it was a guy in Alabama or somewhere. He went and checked the numbers and found out this they were registering people to vote with these pseudo numbers, and so those pseudo numbers are not real social security numbers. So if it's been going on now, he just caught it. Now they want to catch stuff, but it's been going on, and there ain't no telling how many other states are doing it because he's the first one to do it. So
And remember I said before this was I don't know if it was 2020 or when Trump won the first time, when it was 2016, but I went into the church and I'll go into the booth. I came to help clean and keep things in order and all that. So I just happened to walk by one of the voting booths, and I saw pamphlets placed in the voting booths in all Spanish, and they were basically a checkoff list telling you who and what to vote for. So they've already been doing this stuff.
yeah, it's a lot of backhand deals going on right now. Um, it's what's his name? I know Angie Love. What's our brother Dane Calloway? Boy, that was a good documentary about Kamala Harris. The whole breakdown of how the connections with Nancy Pelosi and Willie Brown. Willie Brown, that dude was connected. He was in the Communist Party. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I don't know if I think I shared it to y'all, but man, it was interesting. It is a guy from London that was breaking the whole thing down. People are like, oh, y'all go listen to a foreigner, how he know about Kamala and all that. So listen, man, that woman, just like Obama, these people just popped out of nowhere, man. We didn't know nothing about these people. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden they got all this backing, and all of a sudden black people. One thing they know about us, we love symbolism. We love that feel good medicine. Yeah, I got people on my Facebook got pissed off at me today about it. I said, look, it's okay. Go and vote for y'all. Want to get happy and feel like you did something, accomplished something, and made history. So be it. But we're gonna let Rome fall. This is what it is, y'all. Like it's time to hit the reset button as a people. I mean, the black people that don't want to roll with us, F them straight up. Like I'm for real. Like I don't even
Yeah,
I
let
don't even
them
have these
Negroes
conversations no more.
let them
Yeah,
Negroes go down with the chocolate Titanic and hit that iceberg and bloopity bloop,
yeah,
freaking boop.
exactly.
they do it
Take
every year, just
years.
like when we told them about uh the fake virus, not the fake virus, but the the fake virus jabs. We told everyone, but black people were still going out there getting their shots. Now you sitting here being a guinea pig when we tell you how the system is set up. Black people don't want to listen. So yes,
Exactly.
it is time for us to separate because I have a lot of friends and
Oh
people on
yeah.
the timeline, and they're just cheering for Kamala, and then they come at you left and right. So what? Trump is racist. So what if Trump is not president? No, they were like, well, why you don't say anything about Trump? Because Trump speaks for himself. Y'all say everybody knows enough. I just don't want a woman who does not claim to be black that is supposed to represent me, who grandparents looks nothing like my grandparents as a black person, who is giving money away right in our fucking faces to the immigrants and telling us that they're not going to do anything for black people. So when we put
I'm
black
fine.
people in office, I thought it was so that the black people who represent us can go and do something because now you got a piece of power to fix the situations that we are in. We are getting caught up as black people like we're dumb, and now people are not sitting there going into office. We're cheering them just because they look like they black, talk like they black, dance like they black, eat hot sauce or whatever, and got some association to collard greens. But we not getting
And
anything that is helping our community.
the crazy part with this thing, it's the blue no matter who folk that really irk my nerves because say like when you be online and somebody says they just bring up a fact that hey she said she was the first um East Indian, whatever the phrase goes. She said that she didn't say she was black, and then they pull up the facts and receipts, and it never fails. A Democrat Negro comes into the comments. Y'all just dumb. You don't know, especially for black men. They just are outright calling us dumb now. You're just dumb. You ain't educated. You don't know the facts, and it's like these Negroes always bring up what the Republican Party is doing, and I constantly respond to it with that's like talking to a diehard Lakers fan about the makeup and the roster of the Washington Wizards. That nobody cares about what a Republican is doing because across the country in every black district, 9 times out of 10, it's a Democrat-controlled district. So talking to a Laker fan about the Washington Wizards is a DOA conversation. What it basically is, they're trying to bully you into keeping the tradition alive and voting blue no matter who, and they're getting desperate. And it's like it insults your intelligence for somebody to come in talking to you about a Republican Party when we don't do business with the Republican Party. Let's just be real about it. You will be hard pressed to
Exactly.
find
We
a
do
black
business with
community
the
under
Democratic
Republican
Party.
control.
Exactly. We do business with the Democratic Party, as they say. And then all this time, Kamala was she didn't run. She hasn't done an interview. She hasn't even what they're saying is she hasn't even earned her spot. And she's claiming to earn this spot without doing things the legal way, without having to run just like everybody else did
Yeah,
to
she
become
didn't
the
even go through a
Democratic
primary.
nominee.
Let that sink
Exactly.
in. She didn't even go through the primary process because they know that she wasn't going to make it out, just like she didn't
And
last
they knew
time.
that she
She
wasn't
did
going to
terrible.
raise money, and the money she should have been spending on her primaries, she's spending it on to make us vote for her when she hasn't did any interviews. She hasn't said one policy. She hasn't told us her plan. But everybody is cheering because most black people don't know politics. So long as we don't know politics, they can play games with us, and
You
we'll
know, I
never
think
complain.
that one I think I have to disagree with. I think we do know politics, and I think we do know what we're
I'm talking
doing.
about the
It's
real
just that
people
we
from the
choose.
hood don't know
We
politics like that. Like I'm talking about, not trying to be funny. I'm talking about like the everyday black people that's not talking. That just like I used to work with, because I used to be one of those that you just work in corporate. You don't make that much money, but you get to rub elbows with the big dog. The doctors know you. This person know you. You work in the city offices. You ain't got a label, but you doing that unit. You doing that secretary work. You doing stuff. So a lot of black people don't look at, hey, we should be asking for policies. A lot of black people just like they just following vote blue no matter who without knowing policy. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point, especially like younger people are starting to say this on a daily basis now. Old ninjas know exactly what they're doing, and they are to them reparations is seeing Kamala Harris pretend to be black and get in office. To them, that's reparations. So we are diametrically opposed, and like they literally live vicariously through the Obamas, through Harris. When you listen to their talking points, this is reparations for them. And if you notice, they never get behind movements like reparations. They never get behind. They didn't really get behind Black Lives Matter. To be honest, Black Lives Matter is confronting the police to their credit when they are doing things they're supposed to do, like confronting the police and going after the killer cops and this and that. You never see the black boule Democrats stand behind them. The only time they got behind them was during George Floyd because the Democrat Party wanted to finance that and make it go viral to leverage it for their own purposes. And it's it's kind of it's kind of like we I think we have to make the separation bold and public and let this 30% boule class know that not to use the rehash song, they're not like us, and we are not the same. We are not fighting the same agenda, and it's time to step from behind their shadow because they really are destroying us. When you have a church that can get together and raise 500,000, and then you got these other Negroes combined raising 64,000 people raising a couple of million for Kamala Harris, while your own people across the country are sitting here number one in homelessness, number one in joblessness, number one in incarceration. Just digest this one. How many Negroes have been run out of or relocated from California to go run to Atlanta, to Texas, to Nevada? You running from all these places, but you still remain a black Democrat, and you are willing to go put a California Democrat who calls you leave California in charge of the entire country. How asinine and ignorant is that? Imagine California, imagine the entire country turning into California. That's definitely what's going to happen under this Kamala. She's going to run this thing just like they do California.
And then they complain about Trump with healthcare. Kamala is trying to make one universal healthcare like other countries. Why? Because then they can control the money. And not saying that this private industry is doing good, but at least you get to pick. But then then the racism is going to kick in because she doesn't believe that she needs to do anything to protect black people from being taken advantage of by different corporations and stuff. Imagine if now everybody's getting universal health care, all doctors are getting paid the same, everything is coming from the government. Now you need a surgery and we got to be on waiting lists and different stuff like that. It sounds all good. That's a list, but it's not going to help us. Everything that she's proposing is going to hurt black people in the end because she's not put anything in policy to help us out of this rut, out of this hole, out of this mucky water that white supremacy has put us in. And that's the problem with voting Democrat, because Democrats use the struggle and use our story as leverage to get our ears and attention, but then they turn around and tell us to feel sorry for someone else because they got to give them the money first, and the housing first, and the support first.
And not only that. Now here's another. Besides for those of us who are black who fled California because of Democrat policies. Now it's interesting that they won't say that's why they left California, but literally they left California or were run out of California due to Democrat policies. Now the second part of this is the Biden Harris campaign has gone overtime and basically putting entrepreneurs in the small business class out of business. I mean, you got the things like the Corporate Transparency Act. It seems like every time black people take advantage of a loophole and try to get something for ourselves, the Biden Harris administration has come up with some type of law or some kind of way to backdoor us to either prevent us from getting it,
There you go.
or to take it from us if we got it.
Yep, and the average
Exactly,
black
because
person
if
ain't
you
gonna
go
do
back,
nothing about it. You know what
because
the
if you
worst
go back
enemy?
to Trump, oh
Yeah,
my bad, I'm sorry.
are you good? And I'm just say this. I'll let y'all flow. Tonight, cause Pablo is hard. Get our brother on. We're gonna let him cook. But I want to say this:
Hmm.
like a lot of, like train my thought. A lot of black people don't care. I'm asking people, what is the black agenda? They be like, who cares? They just vote for her. That no other group will say no dumb ish like that. Like
That's
look,
terrible.
just like they did with Obama. His second term, he gave LGBTQ rights. Indians more money. They already got for reparations, but you got no money for us, and you got these ninjas running around here, up here, tomorrow. I'm with her. What in the hell is going on with our people? I land my plane. God damn it.
Grand Rising, everyone in the chat. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for listening in. Like and share.
Out, y'all appreciate that. The like, share it on X. I got it on X right now. And any other platform, y'all put it on that. That's how we do.
Mm.
You know, it's
Like
been floating around that um while we're in this diaspora war and all these things going on, it's been saying that across the globe, black people are becoming more and more aggressively trying to be white, especially here. It's like we always point out Coonan and all that, but it, they get in an orgasmic frenzy, and you notice that. when you notice that the Democrats always run these people that have the same things in common. They went to an HBCU. They married somebody that's not black. They get in when they get in a spot. They claim they can't do nothing unless it's for everybody, while they do something individual for everybody else but black people. It's always it's like a factory, and we keep running back to the polls, twerking and jerking and slipping and sliding, daffy ducking for the same thing over and over, the same soup, reheated and warmed up, but yet daily we complain about our predicament. And it's like I I really need to know from the pastors, Jamal Bryant, I need you to explain how much were you paid? What are you getting out of this? You stand in a pulpit every Sunday preaching out of a book that tells you Molech worship, which is abortion, is satanic, tells you that rainbowism is an abomination, and on down the line we can go. Yet you come out in full support of somebody who stands for all that. She stands against everything you preach, but you come out in full support of her. Now it's not saying, and then the other
Facts,
lie that really
facts.
gets to you is they tried to make it seem like it's only her and Trump running. There's other choices that you can vote for
Exactly.
besides her and Trump.
Yes, it's the hypocrisy. It's just like it's forced. It should be against the law for them to say the only two candidates when you just ignore the other candidate when there's other people running and it's the Green Party. If we are all Americans, they should have just as much as um, airtime on these major stations
Won't
as
happen.
anything else. It shouldn't. But it's about money. They telling us without
Exactly.
telling
That
us in
yeah,
our
the money.
face.
Yeah.
So whoever makes the most money and whoever could get the most policies to give the corporations back, that's who's going to be president. Because remember, before was it Gore or Al Gore or when he won the popular vote, but the electoral college gave it to Bush, if I'm not mistaken. Was that them? Because
Yeah, yeah,
we can all
that's
vote
how
for
it went.
them.
That's how it went,
So
and
we
that
don't. That's why I
and
said
that set
about
a precedent.
politics. We don't even know about the electoral college. They just want us to feel good. But the electoral college. That's why they keep gerrymandering. That's why they keep changing voting districts. Because I don't know all of it, but it's so complicated. They vote for the electoral college, and not one black person knows what's going on. Where they do, but nobody is paying that attention. We keep going to the results of something, but we're not going to the root of it. Who
Look,
are the
And
electoral people who
I'll
vote?
give y'all a peek at the chessboard. I'll give y'all a peek at the chessboard. Now remember, not too long ago when we had that LA City Council scandal where Nuri Martinez and Kevin De Leon and company were caught on tape with Ron Herrera involved, who's the president of the LA County Labor Board. I don't know if he still is or not, but I'm pretty sure he is. They were all caught, and the tapes leaked about racist talks about pushing black people out of the city. And in these tapes, we were referred to as the blacks. And in these tapes, they were basically laying out their blueprint to get Latino power underneath as the middleman for massa. And basically, they talked about things like using the ability to redistrict to shape how voting districts are ran and controlled to basically give themselves the edge to get themselves power. And as you can see, there's no coincidence that they imported this Spanish speaking base. These things these are not coincidences. And when you look at the precedents that have been set, like we just said a moment ago, we're looking at a candidate from what I don't think I've ever seen a candidate in American history who gets to literally bypass the primary process and get catapulted right to the top.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Biden
And
has the choice to hand off the battalion to somebody else without them working for it. It's like y'all they didn't use campaign money the right way because she just piggybacked off all the money he raised. So it's half the people that like him, and then the other half gonna get the rest of the money so that the Democrats can win because half the people gonna like her because one, she's a woman, and then she's claiming to be black. So there go all this other money that's being raised. I mean,
facts.
I don't see how we can't see what just happened. It was the switcheroo right before our eyes, and they're both still president and vice president making promises about what's going to happen if she get elected, and her ass is in office right now.
And remember this, y'all. She always listen. For those who ain't never heard it, remember she said this.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No, because
Yeah, she said that, and then all of a sudden you say you're gonna do all this stuff for the immigrants coming in the country. You talking about you already made promises to Israel, just like even Trump said the same thing. 'Cause both parties support Israel and or Ukraine. We'll get into that a little later. And yeah, I'm pretty sure she already made the deal with the LGBTQ community. Already gave them stuff. I'm pretty sure she made deals with other groups and stuff. But black people, you tell black people about this that audio, that video she did with the Griot in 2020, they don't want to hear that. They don't care. They didn't even got any. I play that audio or show the videos of them. They don't care. They say we don't care. We voting blue no matter who. God damn it, we don't want nothing. We just want symbolism. We just want to
Yep.
be. We just want to cry at the damn inauguration like we did with Obama. Black people just sad, man. That's why I said let Rome fall. It's a new
Yeah, let
era.
them Negroes hit that
Time to go
iceberg.
turn
I
to
mean,
the
it's to the
dark
point.
side.
It's to the point. White Jeebus himself could come down in the flesh and hold an international press conference and tell them the truth about Scamala and what the Democrats are doing to black people, and they will not hear it.
You know what's
And
funny though,
and
brother?
that's why I've always said in the conscious circles, the so-called woke circles, I've always said the second the Ninja Bill, aka the Civil Rights Act, was signed into law, the Democrat Party officially replaced white Jesus at that point, right then and there.
God damn it.
Yep.
Hey, brother, you cooking. Look, we never asked $1 million question. Think about it. You got Obama, 8 years with him. Kamala, maybe she might win, maybe not. The thing about it, even if she's vice president right now. Think about it. These people have no ties to the soil. They don't know nothing about black culture. They are so-called your boy used tethers. They would never. I remember I was at a lecture back. Oh man, about 2010, I believe, at Georgia Tech, and Cornell West was speaking. The first, he started his speech off with this. He said, "Y'all know they would never let a brother look like Isaac Hayes become president of America." That was deep as hell. They'll never have a real black American as president, vice president, none of that. Even what's the chick that the House Speaker? What's her name? Jean Pierre. Whatever she's terrible. She's bad at her job. I mean, it's sad. I mean, they just get these black people who have no ties to the soil, and like I said, Obama got mad about when the guy was asking about reparations because he know he's not gonna get any damn thing. Your wife might get something, but he didn't want to talk about it because he know my job is here to feed black people BS, give them symbolism, give them hope like they've been getting for like over 60 years, and they still that LBJ said LBJ he said black people gonna be voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and I mean, god damn, I'm out of here. All right, y'all, we I'll let my plane.
You know,
I
It's
mean,
I
we've
just
been
sick.
think
voting
I think we need to
Democrat,
make
but
that
we
delineation and make that point and land our plane on that point that the black people that we're talking about that only want symbolism, that is blue no matter who, they are only 30% of black America. They no longer are the face of black America. I think we need to drive, if any other point we drive home this election, that needs to be the point, is that us and them are not the same black people. There are two diametrically opposed black Americas. And that's the drumbeat I keep saying in every conversation online. Brother, you're being divisive. You're this or that. I said, no, Negro. There are two different diametrically opposed black Americas, and it is what it is because that black America has no care for the plight of their own people. And you can see it, you can feel it. That's why they can sit
and
here and
with
cheerlead for Kamala, even though she's destroyed countless black families by mass incarcerating black men. She's taken children from black women, put black women in jail just because they had to work two jobs, and taking their kids because they had to work two jobs and couldn't get the kid to school on time. This is who they're willing to vote for. And that tells you then and there, these people are not us. They are a different breed and class of
not
black
just
people.
that, Pablo. I don't want to interrupt you, but Kathy even said, did we hear about the Planned Parenthood van that was at the DNC, the abortion clinic, and offering free vasectomies? It's like everything that the
Oh
Democrats
yeah.
offer us is to destroy us or to deplete us as black people. You want us to abort our kids. You want to put us in jail because the punishment should we get punished while we watch them tell us that these migrants or immigrants are seeking safety, but yet they let the police of white supremacy, because it's not black cops shooting black people. It is majority white people in blue uniforms, always at the end of the at the handle of a gun while we're at the end of the gun, and there's no protection. We watch them in our faces while she here and claim South Indian. Watch them give other people jobs that doesn't even speak English, and they laugh at us for having broken English when we haven't had a good education system because most of our grandparents were just coming out of slavery, when part of slavery was not for us to read and write. But they don't want us to never remember history because they want people to look at the conditions that they have put us in now to say this is just how black people are, so there's no need to help them, while we watch and praise and cheer for them and their speeches were telling us how they're going to help someone else. Just like when Kamala was on the Edmund Pettus Bridge commemorating the march, and she cried and talked about the people over in Palestine and over, even Israel. She was talking about the Middle East people. So we are always taught to turn our faces and wipe our own tears and cry for someone else, and that's why we won't ask for anything. And yes, there are two separate black people now, because it's black people who choose like us, or we're going to face the truth because we want something done, and then we're going to have the black people that are so used to running after symbolism. I'm not laying my
Yeah,
plan.
And the sad part about it, yeah,
A Negro told me online, y'all just emotional, uninformed, basically stupid, and don't and ain't got no plan. And I said, Negro, you don't know who you talking to. I said, we got a whole nation mapped out. We got the we could go pick up the dirt with our palms right now. The flag is in our possession, so you don't even know who you talking to. One, two, these Negroes are Judases. They're Benedict Arnolds, and if you study the Haitian Revolution, there's only one such way to deal with these type of Negroes, and unfortunately, that's the road we're gonna have to go down in separating and delineating from these Negroes. We can no longer allow them to drag us down into the grave, because when you
Exactly.
look at L.A. Mayor Karen Bass, she has done literally nothing for Black people. The second she got in office, she's done something for everyone else but us. She literally stonewalled. We had a 1-year-old baby die from hypothermia at a bus stop at LAX, a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar airport, and this 1-year-old dies at the bus stop because the mom was working for Uber and had multiple jobs and lost her place, fell behind on things, and ended up being out homeless. And as we know, and we have proven, if you've seen our social media, that these so-called programs help everybody but Black people. Literally, they help everybody but Black. We
facts,
got Ukrainians over here on Western Avenue in the middle of South Central in plush hotels while we are out here on the street dying.
exactly.
And
I
if
would say
you
this,
And this is
y'all.
under
listen
Karen
to,
Bass.
I would say
if
this,
you
y'all. Y'all
listen,
need, yeah. Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick. I don't know if y'all seen that interview with Zoe Lee. She's a comedian, LGBTQ sister. Let me tell y'all something. This sister probably one of the realest ones out there right now. She was on the Breakfast Club and she was breaking down the whole situation over in Chicago. They doing eminent domain on all Black citizens, pretty much. They taking their homes. They took. I think it was her mom. Her mom owned like a couple of acres right out in Chicago. These the state, the government came in, eminent domain, built a damn save a lot on their property without them even knowing. And they can do that. Like I say, eminent domain, they can take your stuff and nothing you can do about it. This is happening right now in Chicago. Her name is Zoe, Zoe Lee. Check her out. She's a comedian. She was on Breakfast Club. Check it out, y'all. She breaks it down. It's a 33-minute clip. She breaks it down. She talking about how the Democrat Party, because like it's almost like communism out there in Chicago. Like she said, you either Democrat or no. They don't. Your chance. They don't. The Republicans got it. Don't have a chance in Chicago. That's why it's so easy for them to bring them immigrants up in there. She was breaking that down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like your boy Brandon Johnson. This dude, he's a damn dictator out there in Chicago. And yeah, all this going on right now. That's what I'm saying. Black people don't even understand. They bringing people in to replace your ass, like straight up. Like this is a fact. This is nothing
But when
made up.
we
This is
say
history.
they, you know what? We got to even talk the language. Speak the
Mhm.
what we.
Mostly
It's the
Venezuelans
Democrats,
and the Spanish. Yeah, the Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats. Yeah, the
because they
Democrats
put
bringing them in.
they passed a law, and then when you
Mhm.
hear some of them talk when they're talking to the community, and you listen to the community meetings, you'll hear the mayors and the governors talking about how it's in policy because they set and write policies, and they set aside money in the national budget when they become, like when they're becoming president. They have a budget, And when her and Biden, when she was the deciding factor on these budget plans, they set aside this money to use for the Democrats, but they set aside money for, I mean, for the immigrants. And when they're setting aside money for the bills of America, just like you get a paycheck, their paycheck is our taxes and everything we spend and everything we're buying and what they tax other people. They're taking this money that they know that they collect mainly from the black community because they got the prisons. When you in prison, you got the telephones, you got the commissary, you got the prison outfits, you got all this not talking about the contraband that they confiscate. They all these drugs that we collect in our black communities and they confiscate them with all the money. Then they repay themselves in it. We talking about all this money, this budget that the America is getting. They setting it aside for everybody but us.
Facts.
Why won't anyone help the black community? Because if you help the black community, you no longer have white supremacy. You no longer have
Yep.
the say so and everything. You no longer have this luxurious life.
Facts. Even
And
so, at
not to
least we should
mention
be
the
still.
fact that they talk when you like you said they talk when you listen to what they talk, they don't talk to black people, they talk at black people. They basically dictate to you. It's a whether you like it or not toned conversation. And when you sit down and look at how they operate, take this for example. Kamala Harris flew her masala behind out to Africa, to the continent of Africa, to push the rainbow, force it down their throat. Basically, she went out there to say, "Hey, if you don't accept this rainbow situation, we're going to sanction you. We're going to do this to you, that, and that." And she was basically told to leave. Same thing they did to Obama. He was asked to leave. Now they don't. They try not to highlight that, but she was basically asked to leave. And a lot of the African leaders are saying, how come when you sit down with the Asians, when you sit down with all the other groups around the world, you come respectful, you talk, you stand on business, you talk to them about business, but when it comes to us, you want to talk about sexual filth. Basically, is what you boil us down to. That's the level that you hold us at in your mind.
It's
And
population control with
No, and
everything.
Pablo, yeah,
Everything they hand us is to destroy us. It's population control.
and I would say this to Pablo. One thing about it, man, nobody. I said this plenty of time. Nobody respects the black world. Period. Like I don't care if you black American, African, Belize, Brazilian. People look at black people as like the lowest of the lowest. We all know that. Deep in our hearts, we know that that's the way the world look at us, and that's
Yes,
why
we
you
know it.
know.
That's why you got so many black people that rather not be themselves because they get to pretend they're not black because of the way that we are made to feel like with black people. Go ahead.
yeah, I kid you
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
I went to Ghetto Mart, Walmart. It's Walmart, but I call it Ghetto Mart. I slid through Ghetto Mart to go pick up a get a kombucha or whatever. And I said, let me go see what kind of protein they got. So I slide through the health section. Kid you not, they got skin bleaching cream in Ghetto Mart.
Yes, they want us to walk around talking like
Oh,
them,
are you
taking
serious?
the soul out of
Wow.
our voice. They want us to lighten our skin. They want us to wear. I'm not saying black people didn't have straight hair because if you look at through ancient Egypt and all, I mean, what they call Egypt, Kemet, we had straightening combs and stuff like that because it's the way we manage our hair. It's just that they take that one part, that one style, and that is the closest that you can get to whiteness, and then they have us running around trying to appease them because if we wear our hair straight all the time, if we lighten our skin and stuff, it makes them feel more comfortable. And that's why it's a problem in the beauty stand. It's not a problem just doing it. It's a problem that we're programmed to do that because everything we're programmed to do is to make this country feel comfortable being white. Because when we look at freedom, I had thoughts to myself last night. I was like, what is freedom? Because in this world, when we keep thinking about free, are we really thinking about freedom, or are we thinking that we need to be free to do what we see white people do? Because when black people get money, we do what white people do. They spend money like crazy. They raise prices. They spend it because they know that they're sitting on their butts and that they're not working for it. And we spend it because we're trying to be like them. It's no need for prices to be as high.
Facts.
It's like,
Yeah, that's why
and
that's
to
why I
us,
said you won't see Steve Harvey get together all that talk he did about how much money he makes and this and that, and that's why you won't see Steve Harvey get up and go, hey Monique, hey Tyler Perry, hey, let's go build a black town. That's why you won't see them do that because they have their
because they're
stock
keeping
under
up
white
with the
supremacy.
white lifestyle, because they're
Yep.
spending their money, and it doesn't behoove them to see, hey, they think it's no, they make. the white government, the part of the government makes everybody think that there is no reason to invest in black people when everything that we have in America came from black people. Air conditioner, stoplight, GPS, internet, everything that the world lives off of, from the potato chip to the buffalo hot wing to the everything, the radiator, and but yet we don't have anything to show, and everybody's okay with that, and they keep blaming us. And then when we sit up here and say we don't have an identity in America because we connect our identity to everything else, unless we could do DNA all day long. Yes, we are from Africa, but we can tell from generations after slavery. If we were here, that means our parents had some intertwinement in slavery and they made it through. But they weren't able to give us anything. And that's the whole point of white supremacy, is to take away from us financially. So when we
Exactly.
think about being free, we're not even, black people are not trying to be free. That's why when they get rich and then they start doing stupid stuff like we hear, like we're talking about with Steve Harvey them. We forget why we wanted black people in there. We forget why we're cheering black people to make it out, because it's been a struggle, it's been a war, and to see one of us make it, we thinking you're gonna throw that rope back down and pull us up. Not sit up there with us and point with the people who held us down in this hole and pointing at us like, well, I got a rope, why you ain't got your own rope?
Facts,
And then
facts. Let me let me let me, let
you
me,
hear
let me
that theme song.
let me school my people real quick on something, because I hear a lot of black people, even white people, but I don't care about them. I'm more about black people. This is how I know that we don't read, we don't research anything. We just, and a lot of y'all don't jump on this bandwagon to the presidential election. Y'all don't get involved with y'all local politics and stuff. You can't tell me nothing because I do it on the daily. But I would say this: y'all always yelling about the Republicans saying white supremacists, Trump is a white supremacist. All these Republicans are white. I said, don't y'all know what white supremacy mean? It's a global system. It's on both sides. Battle of the bullet. Malcolm X breaks it down. Other master teachers on told y'all this. Dr. Clark Anderson been fighting for our people over 60 years. The man, I don't even want him to do no more. The man, 80 something years old. He did the work. He set the blueprint up for us. He gave us power numbers in other books. He told you what you got to do. Black people turn their backs on this man out in Detroit when he tried to create I think Africa Town out there in Detroit back in the days. Those black people turned their backs on them. All them boule and all them black fraternities who think they got power. Check this out: 44,000 black women got together, and they only raised $1 million. You supposed to be the elite black people, like Ray Dana said. Y'all don't have no power. One white person can come in there and drop $27 million, and that's it. Y'all fake wanna be elites don't have no power. Read the book, the origin of the black elites. I just had to read that book 2 months ago. It's funny, man. It keep repeating itself. So back in the late 1800, early 1900, black people were Republicans. They got some things done, but the thing is, when they really try to go after true power, those white Republicans shut them down. The same thing going on with the Democratic Party. And you know what's crazy? Like all those black elites who was Republicans in DC, them Washingtonians, you hear they call themselves Washingtonians, that's what they used to call themselves, them black elites. And even amongst them, they thought that was better than regular black people. And see these boule types, these fraternities, sororities, and even the black Masons. I don't get it twisted. I do business with a lot of these people because I'm a part of a lot of these groups. I'm talking about, like, I'm not in that. I'm just saying I do business with these Divine Nine people. I know how they think. I be at the cigar lounge and stuff. I bring up reparations, like, bro, we don't need that. And that's why I'm not surprised when you hear Ricky Smiley and all them other people say that, because all of them are part of those fraternities. They are programmed to really be against black interests. So you're never gonna convince them. They done. So that's why I said we gotta separate from them, hit the reset button, let Rome fall. You know what I'm saying? And just the black people that's on the level like us, we roll with them, the hell with them, because they're gonna see after this, they're gonna see this is it. Like when Kamala, if she get in, it's it. It's no more black symbolism. Is over. It's a new day. These young black kids are not rocking with that stuff. I talk to them all the time. They're like, look, Mr. Mays, we don't even care about that. Like really, we don't even care about who's running and stuff. And they'd be looking at me like, dude, what the hell you talking about? I don't want to hear about no politics. I don't want to hear about no Democrats, Republicans. We don't care about that stuff because they see that it haven't did anything for us over 60 something years and we stuck. I land my plane.
Well, that's the problem, is that we used to be that generation that said we don't care about politics. The problem is that we need to care about politics or something. We don't have to vote, but we need to. That's what I was saying
I
earlier
agree.
with Pablo, that we don't understand how politics works because we can't just ignore our way out of it. We have to have a plan, which our plan is, of course, with our micronation. But with the rest of America and everybody else, they have to either vote for the lesser of the two evils because they're not going to get together and vote for the Green Party where they can just change the whole system itself. Maybe in time, as we see what happens with this party and they don't rob us blind again, where black people, your ribs are already touching your stomach, already touching your backbone, as they say, touching your ribs, and you can see that we can argue about Kamala and them all that we want. We don't know what policies Kamala signed. We don't know what her job was as vice president. The average black person doesn't, and and so we don't know. So we look at, hey, we're gonna just vote for her because she's black, and then we turn around and next thing you know, the policies she put in place affects us. They want us to believe that Trump is Project 2025. Maybe he is. I don't know. But I know in Project 2025, I mean, if he is, you will have to have years to implement them. They are trying to implement that policy anyway. They have a plan, whether it's Trump this year or they wait another 4 years. There is a bunch of white senators that is pushing this because they are being backed by white dollars. And that's what black people don't have. And that's the problem that we don't see, that we don't have generational wealth. So we trying to piggyback off of feeling like we are part of this rich man's world, this
Facts.
rich white man's world called America. And we don't. So the best thing is to walk away and let Rome fall. Let America have America. What can we do? What other laws are out there that can protect us? And that's where black people don't look. They keep making us feel hopeless because we keep playing a system that is mad crazy.
It was funny
Us-
though.
This, this, this American system is like schizophrenic right now. You got people in office. They won't give us. They will not give us reparations, and we know that they can. They're giving every city is getting the billions and billions to people who parents who ain't did nothing. They bringing in. They're emptying the prisons again because this is how they populated the U.S. before. White birth rates are down, so they're repopulating the birth rate of white people because you ain't got too many people, so you're gonna bring closest white as you can in. They're rewashing America because they found out the most of their money come from prisons, and then you can give AI and robots the rest of the jobs, and then slowly but surely the black people halfway killing themselves off. They put in abortion clinics in so that we could get rid of that. They made sure the black men don't want the black woman. They making sure the majority of black men are trying to turn gay. Look at it, it's a destructive path, but you cannot get black people to see it. So the only thing we have to do is like what they said in their ark. Noah and his family, that we the new Noahs, we the new people. We need to take our ark and see what other laws are out there and are we serious to protect us from this madness and this international laws. And that's what we keep talking about with micronations or nationality. Because see, long as we don't have a culture, white people don't have a culture. So they have us blended in the middle with them because we think we them and they think they us when they just basically been leeching onto us and living the best lives generation after generation, because it has to be
Exactly.
some madness and some sickness where we know that what all of us as black people went through here in America. People like Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, okay, y'all made it and you forget. But there's a lot of black people who made it and still go broke because we've been told what to do with your money. We've been told what freedom is. When we've been told when you have money, this is what you do. You copy what white people do, and white people have been living destructively with money. We have forgot the plan of why black people need money. We need money for power so that we can make plans for the generation. Black people don't want to sacrifice for each other no more because we have been sacrifices for somebody else so much. We don't care about our seeds. We don't care about what our family looks like anymore. We do anything to connect to whiteness because we think that is freedom. We see them. Well, God must be blessed. That's freedom to be able to go and buy $1,000 purse. That's freedom to be able to go put on some $3,000 red bottoms shoes. That's freedom. We foolishness. We not seeing the real freedom. Freedom is to be able to have a group of people that look like you, pass laws that put things in your favor for the people that look like you. That's the freedom. The freedom is to be able to create schools and education where you ain't got to keep fighting, hands up, don't shoot, and stuff like that. That's the freedom. The freedom is to be able to get your own police department or get enough lawyers together where you can speak the truth and go against a system that has been destroying our kids. The easy way out is to blame black people. The easy way out is for black people to blame each other. This system is going to crumble. Rome is going to fall regardless of how many sticks that we
Love
keep
it.
holding up with it. Because every great nation has failed. I don't care how good it was. We talking about Kemet. We talking about Egypt. We don't know, but we need to look back. They were great, but what made them fall? Because
Exactly.
they wasn't thinking. Even the
And I want
black people that we talk about, why did our great black people fall? We need a new, we need to be thinking about micronation. We need to be thinking about being a sovereign is no such thing as a sovereign citizen, but we need to be looking into that. I don't have know it by heart, but we're writing a book about it. But that is the way that we have to go to. We have to start making ourselves tribes and coming together and starting to you. Hey, you got land. We got to stop looking for people who are in this system of America to save us because they showed us generation after generation they're not. So what are the rest of us going to do?
yeah,
We
and I
got
would
to
say,
start looking for the new answer
yeah,
because voting ain't it.
exactly. I now I'm gonna say something else. I just got sidetracked thinking about something else, but this is my thing right here. I would say this: black people, stop acting like you got power. You don't. Yeah, I mean, and then the sad part about it, this is the end game. Like after Kamala, it's over. Like even if she get 8 years, this is what I want to talk about. Y'all know I get on my technology piece sometime, and I'm gonna bring this up because this does add into what's going on right now. See, Kamala talking about this middle class bill she passing to give $25,000 to, first home buyers and stuff. See, it's a lot of stuff to go with that. You got to pay your mortgage, your rent on time, which is BS because some people can't pay it on time. Your credit got to be good. That's another thing that's messed up because most people credit is jacked up. She's talking about the middle class. She's not speaking about the poor people. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm gonna go a little deeper. I'm gonna say some stuff that a lot of people ain't talking about. We don't talk about this in our community because it don't sound, it's not entertaining. Okay, so now it's 2024. So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 6 more years, y'all. In 6 more years, a lot of jobs gonna be obsolete. Even probably some jobs y'all have. I know it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. Some people don't want to hear it. When I talk about this, most our people they get scared, their eyes start bucking, they like, oh man, they get worried. But you supposed to prepare yourself because you gotta learn how to adapt to the new world. She's not talking about that. She talking about, buying homes and stuff like that. If you ain't got no job, how you gonna pay your bills? How you gonna pay your mortgage? You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be telling our kids. Like, and I'm telling you, next couple of years, a lot of jobs gonna be obsolete. A lot of stuff going, the AI, robotics, and stuff like that. I can pull up. If you go to pull up 20, go to your Google. You can Google this. I know a lot of people on the Google, but this is a fact. Go to Forbes on Google, and they'll tell you the jobs are gonna be obsolete by 2030. See, these candidates ain't talking about that because everybody's so caught up in the entertainment part of politics, but a lot of people are not going to be working. A lot of people going to be asked out because they don't have the skill set. They ain't going to get certifications or nothing like that. And I'm talking about our people. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But automation is real. Like it's a lot of jobs. Listen, it's warehouses and stuff running. It ain't just the blue collar jobs. It's the white collar jobs. You're gonna have accountant. AI gonna take over accountant jobs. They're gonna take over HR jobs. I'm telling you, you can look this up right now. I'm not trying to scare anybody. Think about it. People using Chat GPT like to do they work in college and stuff because it's easier. My girl does it all the time, like to do resumes and stuff like that. So we need to start looking at stuff like that because this politics crap don't mean nothing because we need to be worrying about surviving in the next 6 years. It's gonna change and our people are
Not
not
just
ready.
that, D Mays, we need to be learning about Bitcoin, another alternative from
Is
American money. We
that
need to be learning survival skills. And that's why we got land, but we got so many acres that we're going to be using for a Keebler, and we're going to be raising money to put some stuff out there. We just really trying to figure it out, but really we need a place where we can learn outdoor skills, survival
exactly.
skills, kind of like when Michi did her thing. I loved it because you learned about water purification, making fires and stuff. But that needs to be an intense class because we need to start learning how to live off the land. Because how long are they going to put us out? When you don't have money to pay your rent and your bills, you need something to eat. But we've been programmed that the only way to get food is from the store. So you're going to go in the store and steal it. But we're not
Mhm.
programmed to prepare like we used to be when we was under the call of God. We started planting, farming, and that's why we got land. That's why we got
Exactly.
houses, not so that we could show that we got a bigger house to be better than other people.
Mhm.
We used to be for a place to house your family and get ready for the hard times, or get, eat what you want to eat, as much as you take care of your animals and your crops. But the problem is we got to get back to that.
Exactly.
We
And I'm
gotta
saying,
we gotta have training so that our inner city kids will know how to live and survive.
facts. Think about this, and I talk about this. I did a TikTok video on this, like maybe 5 minutes long. I just did it this morning. To live like, okay, you build like UEOA, what we doing, that trying we're doing. You build a community, a micronation, right? So what do you need to survive? You need basic things. You need housing, you need food, you need clothes. I mean, once you build if everybody work together in the community, it's a small tribe. You don't have to worry about the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? That's why them people that them Quakers and all them people like that, they don't care about the technology and all that stuff, because you should never have to stress to live, man. We the only animals on the planet had to stress to live. Every
Well,
other
that's
animal
because we've
is
been
free.
programmed not to buy land. I was hearing your
Mhm.
list. I got disconnected. But the first thing, you cannot do all that because you don't own it. This is why we need to get together and we trust each other. We've already started. Me and Kathy is a prime example of buying land. Buying land. And that is your first thing. Because you could be on somebody else's property. That's why they have taught us. How many times have they taught us about trespassing and stuff and this and that? We can rent a house and pay our bills, but if you can't pay the bills for rent, because now they're letting these corporations build up the rent, I mean, buy up the houses, and they're raising the rent in different areas. They're buying up houses, and when the corporations buy it, they raising the rent by raising the value of the houses, and most people are being stuck. So the whole thing is you need a plot of land, even if you got to stand there and make your little campfire. But you also need land that's in certain different zoning areas, because we deal with a lot. We got to get in our local elections, because those are the people in your neighborhoods, in your zone. You need to know your zoning areas that you are at for your local. You need to know who's your commissioner, who's your police chief, who's your city manager, and who's your mayor, and who's your governor. Those are the people that are affecting you in your everyday life, or what you do on your land. These committees that these white people be on, that's why they be so bold when they walking up to. We keep laughing and calling them Karens, but they come and they feel like they officers of us. That's because they sit on some type of board that we know nothing about. That's why they feel like that, because they are known in their own circle. That's Karen from board number 2. She runs the cupcake committee. Look at Trayvon Martin. He got away because George Zimmerman. I mean, Trayvon, George Zimmerman got away with what he did to Trayvon because he was doing the neighborhood watch. We don't do those things because we don't own our communities. We don't care because we know this is not ours, and we just accept defeat or off the top. But we need to start buying land and then using time to go on that land, not because it's a mall and this and that, because we can go on that black person land and let's see what they got. Can we grow something? Can we buy something off this land? Do you got bees to get some honey from here? Do you got some tomatoes growing? We would be able to visit and go start visiting each other all around, small micronations here, there, even if you have a half an acre or if you just own your house. But we got to do something and stop holding on to this system and start looking for answers elsewhere. But it's only going to be a small amount of us that do it, because the
Fact.
rest of us are programmed to sell their lives away, no matter what the Democratic Party or the Republican Party does to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you were cooking. You was there. I mean, yeah. Ain't too much to say behind that. It's just I already know how people. I think this is the last generation. Like the baby boomers, they fading out. They gone pretty much. The Gen X's, I think that'd be our generation. You got a couple of them still
Yeah,
holding
we
on
Gen
to
X.
exactly. They holding on to that last that last baby boomers civil rights, symbolism type thing. I think I say after the 2028, you're gonna really see the real shift. It's happening now. I see more black people actually like I hate to use the word woke, waking up, and they actually like, no, we not just gonna vote for this chick because she got some melanin. We say she black. We gotta stop accepting black people. I mean, we gotta stop accepting people that got melanin and say they black. We have embraced so many people into our community, and they haven't did anything for us. These people are, yeah. And anyway, the thing about the immigration thing, going back to that real quick, it's sad you showing. I be showing people like y'all, and we be telling our friends and family, showing them receipts, and they still like it's almost like the movie Matrix when everybody was plugged in and stuff. Like most of the black people are plugged into the Matrix. They don't want to unhook themselves. Like old boy Cyrus said, I know this steak is not real, but in my mind it's telling me it's real. So black people know that in actuality, they know that the Democrats not going to do anything for them, but they know because they don't have no power, they don't have no capital. They're thinking, well, my vote really count, but it don't. Like you going to get a sticker on November the 5th and say I did my part. What did you do? Did you ask for anything? Did you have a black agenda? Did you even with these people like Al Sharpton? I don't even worry about them because they gone, they done. They all them old school boule. They like, look, I just want to have like your boy said, have a peaceful death. You know, I want my pension, I want my retirement money, whatever. And they don't even really care about their own grandchildren because they know at the end of the day, this thing like Rome is falling. Rome gonna fall, y'all. I know nobody don't want to hear that, but that's what it is. Hashtag Rome gonna fall. Like it's and it's sad part about a lot of us ain't prepared. We talk about get your bug out bags, get your survival kits, get in shape, learn how to live without eating meat, stuff like that. Learn. I mean, some of y'all know we got the AC in our houses and stuff, but it might come a time we might have to get the hell up out of here, y'all. The grids might shut down. They already doing tests and stuff like they did when they shut down the airports and all that. They had that little issue couple 2 weeks ago. Nobody not really talking about that. Take it back to COVID. COVID was a simulation. COVID was to see is people gonna follow protocol. A lot of people didn't, but majority of people did. People when they took the jab and then go back. It's a video they got with your boy. What's his name? Dr. Fauci. Talking about in 2021, take the vaccine, take the jab. You'll be good. You'll be safe. And then 2024, this guy caught it a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we just gotta be mindful of what we see, what we look at, what we listen to, because this energy is not good for us right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'll let my plan. I know we gotta get up out of here, but I'll let my plan, y'all. Okay, I think Kathy went out. I think Kathy went. No, not Kathy, but dang, there she go. I'm like, Don, you dipped on us.
I'm back. Yeah, I
We
don't
gonna
know what
close out.
happened.
We
Yeah,
gotta
I was gonna
close
say
out. You
to
gotta
close
close out.
out. Yeah, we're gonna close out. Well, thank everybody from listening. We will be back. Like I said, think about it, study sovereignty, study micronations. Let's get a solution. Let's get a plan for ourselves because everybody is not gonna come.
Let Ron
Peace.
fall, y'all. Peace.